Good morning. So looking at the ES, looks like a pretty clear uptrend here that has a closeout side and a new high. This retest trend then has two legs down and a break new high of its own. Then you're bumping up against some resistance up at this level. I don't think you really need to draw that though, but I'm not looking for anything on the ES right now. I'm expecting a possible reversal or for prices just to go sideways. NQ looks super similar. It's hard to get the trend to fit if you start it off of this swing. So I think this is some kind of little spike up, and then you draw the channel off of this, and it's very similar to the ES. Then has a closeout side and a new high. The retest trend has a break with two legs, short-term downtrend, break, new low, and then two legs to a new high of its own. So everything is played out on here as well. Not looking for anything on the NQ. On the CL, this downtrend is a little bit weird. I couldn't get it to fit perfectly. Like if you draw it off of this swing right here, then this closes outside and maybe it's already just played out. But if you drag it out a little bit, then it fits pretty well. Fits pretty well here with the two touches and it has a bunch of touches here. And you could even maybe drop this down just a tad from that wick, and maybe that's it. Maybe that's it there, so it touches there. Not exactly sure. But then you have this inner downtrend. Oh, well, here's one thing that I do want to note. There's a short-term uptrend right there that isn't able to play out. Usually that's a sign of a trend being in the way or some sort of support or resistance being in the way. So I don't know, definitely makes me feel like it's right. Anyway, you have this inner downtrend that gets an overshoot leading to a two-legged break, attempt at a new low. Given it's an overshoot, it doesn't always get a retest that leads to a break of this larger trend as well. Then you have this uptrend here that has a close outside and two legs to a new high. So now I'm thinking prices might come down to test these lows for the uptrend, the downtrend, now that the uptrend has played out. So have to see if we get some more downward movement. Then I'll probably be looking to take some shorts. On RTY, it looks like this is probably just a range. I just drew the overnight highs and the overnight lows, but I think you can pretty safely draw a range at this point at the daily highs and lows, or the overnight highs and lows. Clearly there was some support here, short-term uptrend, you have to close that side, new high, downtrend, break, new low. Kind of looks like two legs down, but it's definitely not measured. The second leg is larger, so it still looks like two legs down though. Uptrend, break, a new high, and then you go into this range. Not really looking for anything on RTY, just want to see how prices react as they reach these levels, or maybe there will be some sort of trend between now and then. I'm going to check out my second monitor, and I'm going to mark up all these trends, so that way I can see the whole, everything at one time. Also, I'll only be trading until 10:15 Eastern time this morning because I have to go to a meeting. And then this week will be a little bit of an odd week for me, so I'll be trading the full day tomorrow, and then I won't be trading at all Wednesday or possibly Thursday as well. So a little bit of an odd week, but just got a lot of random stuff going on. My allergies have really been kicking in, so I'm trying to mute the mic whenever I sniffle or sneeze or anything. Okay, so I got everything marked up on the second monitor. Again, I'm not really looking for anything on the ES right now. I'm waiting until prices either go into a range, possibly something like this, or start trending down, in which case I would start looking for shorts. It's possible prices continue upwards, but at least right now I'm not looking to take any trades to the long side. Again, the NQ, basically the same as the ES. I don't really want to repeat that. It looks basically the exact same. So CL, if prices start trending down, then I'm going to start looking for the break and new low of this downtrend. It is possible that this downtrend is tighter, like I was mentioning earlier, in which case it could already have a close outside and new low, and it could already be played out. So I'm watching to see if prices are going to find some momentum to the downside, and if so, then maybe I'll be looking to take some shorts. In the RTY, I am mainly just waiting until prices reach the bounds of the range, so the overnight highs and the overnight lows up here and down here. Though if there is a strong trend in one direction, so like if this downtrend continues here and then we get maybe a second entry short or something like that, then maybe I'd be interested in that. So that's what I'm looking at right now, and we will see what happens. Just about to go into the open here. Looks like that downtrend is probably incorrect there. If anything, it's probably just a short-term downtrend with a break and new low. And this range is obviously not holding very well. Definitely getting some down movement on the ES and the NQ. So some decent down movement there, but even more on the NQ. So if we got a second entry short, I'd probably be willing to take that on the NQ, possibly the ES as well. Looks like we might have been just a little failed breakout and coming back within the range, potentially. And CL, the short-term downtrend, now as a close outside. I would say it most likely doesn't really have a convincing close in or break outside and break a new low. Although you could consider this a close outside here in this bar and also a new low all in one bar. The ES hasn't really traded off as strongly as the NQ has. Looks to me like a range with a failed breakout the top, and break out the bottom and pull back to test it on the ES. The NQ, I was thinking about possibly taking shorts here, but it looks like the short-term downtrend already has a close outside and new low. So I'm not really looking for shorts unless there's a larger structure in play to the downside. The ES is coming back and testing this old trend line, and looks like it might be holding it as some support here. The CL has now moved to a more convincing close outside and new low. So the short-term downtrend now has a break and a new low, very convincing one. So let's see if prices are able to continue downwards to potentially test this larger downtrend. I'm going to go ahead and sort of prematurely draw a larger trend like this. Chances of that being correct are low, but they could be. The RTY, all in all, looks like a failed breakout of both sides, and now the range is probably dismantled. There's the possibility to find some sort of uptrend, maybe something like this. Could be the case. I don't know how incredibly helpful that's going to be, but we'll see. The ES is moving really sideways, probably as it's kind of working through the support of this trend line. And the CL looks like this downtrend will probably be incorrect, as I sort of expected there, but figured I'd draw it just in case. Still could be correct. We still don't have a closeout side yet. Getting what looks like it could be a spike in channel on the NQ, or it could just be a larger channel as well. So let's take a look at what options we have. So it could be something like this where the midline is holding. If we draw it off of here, it could be a slightly wider trend, or it could be some sort of spike in channel down. Could be any of those. I'm going to go with the, let's see, this is probably the best fit for me right now. But I'm open to changing around this downtrend and seeing what sort of fits best. The RTY looks to be holding this uptrend so far, at least. And the ES is also working down. It looks like there could be something like this. So definitely looking for shorts in the NQ and the ES. Possibly looking for longs on RTY, but prices are getting pretty close to the resistance here on RTY. So chances of looking for a long are probably pretty low. And the NQ looks like it is breaking this downtrend if this is the correct one, but it easily could not be. It easily could just be a spike in channel or something of that nature. Either way, I'm pretty confident in looking for some shorts. It does kind of look like it could be 2 legs down, and prices are finding some support off of this previous level here. So there was some support in this area. Prices have made what looks like 2 legs down and are finding support there again. But this is such a strong down move so far that I think I'd be willing to still take some shorts. And CL, this downtrend is sort of coming into play here as prices turn down. So this could be correct after all. So it could be looking for shorts on CL as well. Right now it's the NQ that I'm really looking at. Looks like you have a short-term uptrend working back. And let's take a look at something like this. See if we can get something to fit. That could be correct. At least going to be ready to take a trade in case, oops, in case one appears. So it looks to me like the short-term uptrend doesn't have a very convincing close outside and new high. This could be a close outside, but it's not super convincing. On the ES, you similarly could get a second entry short, but this downtrend is probably not correct here. Kind of moving sideways on the NQ, so this downtrend might not be correct either. Just have to wait and see. Price is looking pretty choppy and sideways. There's 3 dojis stacked side by side. Now getting another bar that looks pretty neutral, and it might stack as well. Looks like you have a close outside and new high for this uptrend. So if we continue to move up, I'm expecting prices to come off of this resistance, and then if they turn down, then I'll start looking for some shorts there. Let's hop back to the NQ. I don't think this downtrend is right. I think there's still the possibility to take a short here because this was a decently strong down movement. I'm not exactly sure
Order submitted
where the trend is, but I think that there's still the possibility to look for what looks like 2 legs back because it was a decently strong down move. So I want to be ready just in case, but this is looking like it has some strength to it. So I'm just going to go ahead and exit out of that. It's looking like maybe this is just 2 legs down, the short-term downtrend having a break a new low, and maybe there is no larger structure like I was thinking there was. And that would be probably the same with the ES as well, having these 2 legs down. It's making me wonder if this could be something larger, and it definitely could be. But for right now, I'm going to play with what I have. Clearly finding a lot of upward momentum though. The ES is finding resistance at the same level from before, just about there. This could even end up being some sort of range. Potentially. The RTY is pushing through the overnight highs. possibility for a lower high or failed second entry on RTY. Or if we continue to move down, maybe even a second entry short. Clearly a pretty strong down movement there. Makes me feel like my read is correct with the uptrend having a close outside and 2 legs to a new high, ending right at the overnight highs, resistance level. On the CL, this downtrend could even be a little bit wider. Could be something like this. Just have to see if that continues to hold. On the NQ, I'm looking at some sort of uptrend like this. On a larger scale, this is probably just one leg up, a 2-legged break, and now prices might be moving towards this break and new high. On this scale, I think it's pretty clear that this uptrend does have a close outside a new high, but you have to view this with multiple scales in mind. Getting some decently strong down movement on RTY. This initial short-term downtrend clearly has a close outside a new low. There is the potential for a wider downtrend, but it doesn't really look correct to me right now. I would consider taking a second entry short, but probably not a failed second entry at this point. It's really looking like a range on the ES. This definitely looks correct as of right now. I don't think this uptrend really helps you very much, but it's probably correct, technically. Could have an overshoot, maybe not. Let's see if prices are able to hold this support down here. Incur doesn't look as range-like. And the CL, this downtrend is most likely incorrect. It's probably just this tighter one as it closes outside new low. Price is clearly finding some support here. You can see a triple test going on. And the RTY is still looking pretty good for a short. The ES is finding support off the same level, supporting the range. In Q, prices look like they might be testing the highs of this uptrend. And the RTY feels to me like it might have a spike and channel down. And I only have about 20 more minutes before I've got to hop off for the day. So far, pretty uneventful. That's kind of what I expected for only being able to trade for about an hour or so. I mean, if I got on about 9:15, then yeah, about an hour. On the NQ, you've hit the close outside and new high for this uptrend. You can even draw just a short-term uptrend there as a close outside and new high of its own. So I'm thinking it's unlikely the prices will reach these highs again, but it's definitely possible. I mean, just with this trend playing out so early, that's what it kind of feels like to me, is that it's unlikely. CL continuing to sort of find support here, but mainly chop around. And the RTY has a potential short setting up. So I would be very interested to see a second entry short here of some kind. Looks like we're just going to move down to the, well, looks like we have already moved to the closeout side and new low for this spiking channel. So no longer looking for shorts on the RTY. The CL, I'm considering that there could be some sort of spiking channel coming down here, but so far it doesn't really look correct necessarily. You could maybe say something like this. But so far, I'm just going to play it as a short-term downtrend with a close outside and 2 likes, 2 new low. That reaches support. If we continue down, I'll explore some sort of larger downtrend. It looks like you are continuing down here. Possibility of something like this. That does fit pretty well. There's also the possibility of a spike in channel, like I was looking at there. I kind of like the spike in channel better. I think it has more touches that way. So I'm going to play it like this. Potential shorts on CL. This support definitely scares me a bit from going short. Hasn't been an incredibly strong down movement so far. Definitely getting some down movement, but it hasn't been super strong. On the incur, there's the possibility of some sort of uptrend like this. It's pretty uncertain at this point. I'm going to draw it just in case, but definitely not sure about that. It just has 3 touches. The RTY is continuing to move down, so I have the spiking channel having to break a new low, but we're continuing to move down, in which case maybe there's a different spiking channel, something like that. CL, looks like this downtrend might be holding here. I thought it was going to break, but maybe it continues down. I think for a short, ideally, we'd see this continue down and then pull back for a 2-legged pullback. On RTY, we are sort of overshooting what could have been that spike in channel. I don't see, I mean, maybe something wider. That skips too much price action there to be that wide. Thought I was gonna sneeze there. I keep being scared that I'm gonna forget to turn my mic back on, because I did that once the other day. Just about 10 more minutes before I'm going to be hopping off for the day, unfortunately. I'd like to stay on longer, but I have to go meet someone. Looking like on the incur, this uptrend is probably incorrect. Can you go ahead and remove that on the incur? Just play it as an uptrend that has a close outside and 2 legs to a new high. and then basically a double top. RTY is continuing down strongly. Let's see if we find some support. I drew this line here because the midline fits well. So if we find some support off this opposite side, that'll kind of prove that to me, and maybe I'll continue looking for shorts. The ES is clearly just ranging. There's nothing I'm interested in there. And the CL, this downtrend appears to be holding. So if we continue lower and make a lower low here, then I'll definitely be interested in taking some sort of two-legged pullback for a short. We are continuing down quite strongly too. Man, I'm yawning a lot this morning, but I was going to say I slept pretty well, but that's actually not true. It took me a while to go to sleep last night, so I didn't get the best sleep. That's probably why I'm a little more tired than usual. Two charts I'm really looking at right now, and it's the CL here for possibly a second entry short, and the RTY, which looks like this downtrend is correct as of right now. We're finding some support off of what I think is the opposite side, so possibly a two-legged pullback on there as well. The NQ is moving down pretty strongly. Didn't quite reach that measured move there, so it looks like an uptrend break, new high. The retest trend gets closed outside and two legs to new high. Then you get two legs down, and then we attempt to continue the uptrend, but this uptrend plays out early and we're not even able to hit the measured move for this second leg up before we are trending down strongly. I want to mark these highs and the overnight lows, which could be here, or it could be a little bit higher, just in case this ends up being some sort of range. And that support did not come back into play. Definitely interested in taking shorts on the ES and the NQ. It's a very strong down move, and it will probably get a second one. It'll probably get a second move down. That's what I mean. I'm only on for 7 more minutes, so chances of me seeing any of those are pretty low, unfortunately. But every single chart right now has a potential setup, and all of them are short. So ES, I'd be looking for 2 legs back to take a short. NQ, I'm looking for 2 legs back. CL, 2 legs back. And RTY, same. So same. I'm looking for the same setup basically on all of these, even though each chart looks a little bit different. Looks like we're getting really close to the closeout side and new low on CL of this major downtrend. In fact, we've already hit it. So I think my read was correct in looking for that. Looking at this again, it could be, no, it's gotta be the spiking channel. So I think this is probably an overshoot though if we drag this out, it could not be an overshoot. I'm going to pull this in for now and say that it probably is, but we'll see how prices react. Continuing to move down really strongly on the ES and the NQ. Looks like that might be correct to the downside. And we have a similar downtrend on the NQ. The RTY is overshooting this downtrend. Makes me think that it's either incorrect or prices are getting a little bit too ahead of themselves to test the support level. So, not sure there. But there's actually the potential for a higher low, and it would be a little bit more aggressive on RTY. Just taking a look at some other possible trends right now. I was saying a possible higher low on the RTY because it's a possible overshoot coming off this support level, and it's super far from the EMA. But prices are moving down really strongly, so it's not holding the support level like I would want it to in order to take that higher low, which would already be aggressive. We are pulling back on the ES and the NQ. Also pulling back on RTY. There's the possibility of a second entry short on both of these. It's a pretty strong short-term uptrend though, so I'm thinking it's probably going to have to dissipate quite a bit before I'm willing to take a short. It's looking like I probably won't see it regardless, because I'm probably going to have to head out before it sets up. Price is really continuing down strongly on RT or CL. Makes me think the spiking channel might not be correct after all. Maybe it is something just like this. That's a possibility. It doesn't look as good to me though. I really do like the look of that. So I'm going to put this here where the midline kind of fits, and you can see this opposite side fitting as well. Maybe it's just a stronger inner downtrend there. The NQ and the ES continuing to pull back. Looks like the ES, this downtrend, is kind of coming into play there. I don't think I'd want to take a lower high second entry in this area. I'd prefer prices to have a break and new high of this short-term uptrend because it was so strong on the way back, and you're pretty far from the EMA. Okay. Well, unfortunately, I'm gonna have to hop off right whenever things are looking like they're getting a little bit interesting. Well, okay, I'm gonna hold off just a second because this is looking really, really close to a potential setup on both the ES and the NQ. More so the ES. Well, okay, this is looking really strong to the upside now. So let's see. Still the potential for a short here.
Order
it looks
submitted.
Pretty strong to the upside. It's basically 2 legs up right now. So if we get a nice bearish bar, I'll probably be willing to take that. And we are continuing up higher.
Order canceled.
So I think that's it for me. I'm going to go ahead and hop off. Unfortunately, I'd love to trade longer, but I'll be back on tomorrow. Probably not Wednesday, or definitely not Wednesday, probably not Thursday, but I'll see.